everybody. So tonight I wanted to make this video about why we're seeing more European Western restaurants disappearing from bigger cities. And this phenomenon is happening brazenly in front of our faces, yet few of us are able to pick up on this strange agenda that's going on. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the left's infiltration and more of communism in these cities, and mine as well. There are very few European restaurants left, and the ones that are left have been changed to modern style restaurants on the interior design. And for example, a place where I understand nowadays with all the stuff going on, but it doesn't matter, tradition is tradition, heritage is heritage, but they've been replaced with, you know, these white tile kind of very stark looking places, very desolate looking modern places in which the carpets are gone, the tables are gone, the tablecloths, like they're all new, modern, like kind of like white cube style looking establishments. The entire style has changed, and I understand that, well, they're serving European food, so why not? But they have just erased their own culture by doing so. And anyway, so we went to this restaurant, and I was with two males that I love, that are a part of my family, and we were walking in, and all of a sudden, I've been to this restaurant before, but 7 years ago, and all of a sudden I realized that it was all modern. Like even the front door was different. Of course, this shocked me quite a bit because I remember this restaurant to be wooden style and having those checkered Bavarian style tablecloths, and having carpets on the floor, and having kind of an old European style establishment, which was the reason why we went there, because we wanted to embrace and celebrate our culture, of where there are very few places where one can celebrate that nowadays. And so the erasure of traditionalism, as well as vintage and old style retro things, has been such a huge thing lately. Like, it's like they're taking away everything that we know and love. I remember when they got rid of Blockbuster, and it was like 2010, I think, or 11, and they just shut it all down, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like no more Blockbuster, like you can't relive those memories anymore. And they're trying to erase our memories. When you really think about it, they're trying to erase something. So anyway, getting back into the story, we went there. The lady was quite snobby. She seemed to be of Hungarian descent, but yet she was adopting a very feminist, rough, masculine way of dealing with the customers. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be that way, but then again, it's kind of contributing to the decline of femininity, as well as the decline of European culture in general. So depending on what you want to do, I mean, to me, that's not really a good thing to do. So when we went there, immediately this woman started picking on the men that were in front of me. They walked in first, and she was kind of giving them a bit of an attitude. And I was behind them, and I was like, okay, since I'm a girl, I can basically stand up to her if she does start getting even more testy with these guys, because they can't fight back a feminist. You can't do that as a male. So it's just like, I needed to step in, even though I kind of wanted to just have a fun time there, but I had to step in. And so as she was asking, which table do you want to sit at, and the guys usually pick. Now, there is a decline in the ideas of the past, the traditions, the etiquette, and the culture of when a host seats you, or when you're with guests and you want to have a good time, selecting the proper table in the house. It's an important element in your dining experience. So she's like, where would you like to sit? And the boys took a while to decide where they wanted to sit, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, because of our tradition is that, you know, you choose a spot, and where you choose to sit at matters. It dictates the entire experience of what's going on. And also there's a class of elegance to decide where you want to sit. And I feel like because of the Marxism infiltrating into all of this, it's really dissipating the classes as well. So in a high class traditional way, you'd sit down and you'd seat yourself and you'd enjoy where you sit. Now, because of this Marxist thing, we walked in and just everybody is just sitting in the middle. And I know that there are protocols, but these protocols are widely influenced by people that want to destroy this culture and small businesses as we know it. And she's like, you can sit at these front tables, and I kind of pushed her. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, we can sit at the front. What do you guys think? And they were just like, let's sit at the back maybe. And I'm like, okay, sure. And the lady snapped. She was like, we can't seat you at the back. You need to choose one of these tables. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then like apologizing afterwards. Sorry for my rough voice when I tried to emulate her. But, and we chose the front table, and you know, there's a bit of back and forth between me and the other, the male, and it was fine. I was like, okay, let's sit there. So then, and she was like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm thinking in my head, it does matter. Like, it matters so much that you don't even know. And so we sat down, and we also chose where to sit. There's a seating arrangement, kind of tradition and etiquette that should be celebrated in European culture, in which we sit down in an order in which, you know, we want to have a different view or different, you know, exposing of the angle of the table if we want to, you know, it doesn't matter. But you know what? People are trying to take that away and take our freedom away. So anyway, so when she said it didn't matter, it really bothered me. But we just sat down, and I was like, okay, if this lady is my server, I'm gonna have to be a little bit on guard and defensive with her, because she's limiting our freedoms. So as we sat down, another beautiful lady came, and she was absolutely stunning. She was so beautiful, so sweet. So she brought us water and menus. But meanwhile, the lady that sat us in the beginning, the host at the beginning, she was staring at us the entire time. I have to rewind a bit. I forgot one thing. Also, when we sat down, but before we sat down, I'm like, can we just take that table? Like, I kind of gave a bit of a pushy attitude so that she knew not to mess with me. And so she was like, it doesn't matter. So I forgot that a little bit. But going back, after that part, when we were sitting at the table, being brought water, the lady was like, giving me an evil eye the whole time. Like, she was watching, she was listening, and she was making it very visible how busy and stressed out and underprivileged she was, because she was working and we were having a good time. So that was kind of odd. Clearly you're on shift and clearly you're working hard. You don't need to make a show of it. So I already understand that. Like, I've had jobs similar to that in the past in which other people were being serviced around me. And the place I'm talking about is a hair salon. So it was kind of like people were getting their hair done quite fancy, and I was, you know, doing the tasks around that. So the funny thing about all this is how she was listening. I don't like drama. And I don't like female drama either, because I've been bullied by females most of my life. So this was just something familiar to me, that even though I was trying to have a good time with people that I loved, I was going to be watched by somebody in a restaurant that had already been turned super modern and super like controlled, when the whole type of culture that this food and restaurant is to be free. And that is part of our bio spirit, as Jason Koehne would coin. I know for a fact that since they're feminists, they'll go after the males. So I knew that I needed to protect the males. And what I would do is I'd have to kind of be the one taking the orders and kind of being the vocal one. If I wasn't, then that lady could potentially, you know, come back at us, I guess. And so what I did, what the best thing was I kind of stayed quiet until we needed to order something. And I did ask Brandon to order things for me, so we had that feminine masculine balance. But then when the lady was around, I took it upon me to be more vocal with the lady. And anyway, so the whole time I was like, maybe I'm over exaggerating. Maybe with the perspective I'm seeing, this woman isn't feminist or whatever. Even though she was kind of pushy with the delivery people that were coming in, she's a little bit pushy. you know, the people that were controlled and quiet got this like extra reward, like, oh, come back, you're great. But the people like us that asked for certain things, it's just like, So we ordered and ate our meal. Everything was fine up until that point. Then the time came for dessert. And I just felt this lady watching me. And as we were eating, I felt my insulin kind of getting a little bit worse. I have kind of bad insulin resistance problems, so I felt the insulin hit and I was getting a little drowsy, and I can't really handle cortisol that well in those situations. So the problem with that was I heard her in the background scoff at us when we didn't know what to order on the menu. So we kind of looked at the menu. Some of the guys didn't like the menu. I did. I was like, oh, I wanted to see what's for dessert for fun. And the lady before that, she, like, the mean lady, she asked me, do you want a coffee, because I'm about to shut up the machine. I'm like, oh, no, we're fine. And she's like, okay, because I just wanted to know. Thanks. And I was just like, okay. And you know, in my insulin resistance, like, I was kind of like drowsy. And so then it got to the point where we were just gonna look at the dessert menu, and I was so tired I said yes to the dessert menu. So we just looked at it and I was just like, ooh, wow, these are such cute desserts. And by the time the nice lady came around to take our orders, I was the insulin was hitting me and I was stuttering, and this is when the bully strikes, okay? And this is confirmed that she was listening in and watching us, and I felt it. I just didn't trust myself enough. Sad that it was happening at one of my favorite European restaurants in Toronto, and there's so few, right? There's so few. But so anyway, we were sitting there, and behind the counter, she just like, the lady was like, so would you want anything? And I was like, I think we're fine. I think we'll just maybe get the bill. And the lady behind the counter went like that, like she was like like laughing at us. At not us, but me not being able to speak properly because I was full, or maybe she just thought I was being fake or something. Maybe she thought, oh, you were so fake and you were so bad. And I think these type of people, like, just to summarize, they want to watch you. To these feminist type leftist people will try to watch and pick out anything that they deem maybe politically incorrect in what you say, do, or whatever. So even if you're like tripping up on your words just because you're too full, they'll take that as, see, you're, you know, not good in some way, so therefore you must be part of the other side and the enemy to us, the left. So they'll pick apart anything they can find, and it could be anything. Like, it could be like, your hair is too bleach blonde, or your hair is just slightly blonde, or, you know, you've got too much lipstick on, or the way you dress is, they just don't like that because it's too feminine and masculine versus androgynous, you know, because they're pushing that whole androgynous thing. So it's like, if you look a little bit different to what everybody's supposed to look like, you get, you know, bullied by it. So she was scoffing, and I was like thinking to myself, I need to fight or flight right now. Like, after we pay, there's an, you know, these waitresses know that when you get up to leave, it takes a while for everybody to push their chairs in, and she could come over and actually say something to me. I could be threatened in that moment. So I knew, I was thinking ahead, that I needed to make sure Brandon lets me get up first and I head to the door. So after, when we got our stuff together, after we paid and everything, I booked it to the door, and I heard her say, thank you very much, bye, like, because she was totally gonna come up to me and say, next time you could push your chair in a bit more, or something like that. Like, anything that they can find to deem it politically incorrect or selfish, or, you know, like, privileged, or whatever it is. So they'll use that as a word against you to get you to submit and be in their control. And so afterwards, I needed to tell Brandon, I'm like, Brandon, did you see that? Did you see what this lady was doing? And did you notice she was watching us the whole time? And he's like, no, I didn't notice at all. You know, and same with the other person I was with. So it's, and also the person, one of the people I was with said something kind of rude. They have every right to say whatever, or a joke, but that, you know how nowadays you just can't say certain jokes because it's politically incorrect. So what they would say back in their day when they're hanging out with their friends is now deemed politically incorrect. But this lady was listening in on us, so she had ammo anything we said could be held against us. That is so uncomfortable to eat in that setting, especially from the whole reason that we went to go eat at a place like that is to relax and be with our kind. Clearly that lady, the mean one, was not of our kind. So anyway, I find like there are these certain types of people everywhere. In my college, for example, there was this group of 2 or 3 girls. I had a group of about 8 to 9 people mixed with boys and girls, and I had so much fun with my friend group. They were the boys were masculine, the girls were feminine. We were just all being ourselves. It wasn't a big deal. But whenever we were in the classroom laughing and hanging out, these you know, kind of snobby girls would just like turn their head and just stare at us. And especially me too, because I was like having fun and smiling. Like, this was after class when we were just all talking. We were about to like leave to go somewhere, and they would just hate us, and they were like, can you kids just leave this college? Can you children leave this college? Because they were like older and obviously hardened with the world and more submitted to the system. So they had a problem with us. And so yeah, I just kind of wanted to summarize that video. That's an example of the lack of culture, of the lack and the disappearing and dissipation and destruction of European culture in big cities such as Ontario. Now, I'm starting a meetup group for everybody that knows these things, and it stands for the same cause. And I'm calling on all women, all tradwives, all anti-feminists, all people of the right, people that want to meet up about the truth and really know like what's going on and how we can all make it together as a group and as a tribe together. So I know some other girls that are great to watch on this topic would be Faith G. We both went to the same school. Funny enough, she was a bunch of grades older than I was, but I saw her in the playground when we were like really young, and she was always super dressed up, and she's super flamboyant, as a Gemini is, and which is great. She also ran for office at one point, but she's totally blocked all over Canada for her views that the left doesn't like. So yeah, she's really great, but I don't advocate for all of her views. I don't believe in all of the things she stands for, but she's definitely on the right path. Now, another girl would be Lauren Southern, or Brittney Sellner, who was previously known as Brittney Pettibone, and Nicole Pettibone. All of these girls are very well versed in what's going on right now, and they're all like us. And if you princesses or princes would love to also take a look into that as well, and their videos, Jason Koehne, and also Blonde in the Belly of the Beast. All of these women are very aware, all of these people are very aware of what's going on right now and the great deception that is about to really destroy a lot of our tradition and community. I'll keep doing these restaurant vlogs for you, and I'll just try to keep them short, because like I did this video, this happened like the end of July, so I had to redo this video. But I'll keep doing these restaurant vlogs. We went about a week or 2 ago, and I just wanted to definitely use it as an example as to what's going on. So I'll do definitely more of these videos in which I highlight restaurants, obviously not naming the names, but talking about the restaurants, talking about how they changed, and talking about how they're getting rid of the old culture. Whoops. I know many of you can argue, well, carpets aren't hygienic or blah blah blah, but goodness, it's a restaurant, just let it be. You know, it's not your house, you're not gonna like sit on the floor. You know, it's a public place, a public house, so it should stay with dignity. It should stay with its tradition. I'm just saying that. I believe that the paintings and the carpets and the walls and the entire look of it should have stayed the same. And there's no need to change it that much. Like, sure, do the government protocols, but you do not have to literally rip everything out and renovate it to this modern, bleak, stark... Everyone's going for that really bleak, like, gray trend where everything's gray and like white and black, or gray and black, and it's just really not the greatest look. New schools are being built, especially Roman Catholic schools. It's just so gray, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Clearly they're making everything look bad on purpose, so it just looks horrible. We should stay to our true structures and the true, you know, olden times, traditions, etiquette, all of that. So if you want to learn more about that, please get in touch with me below. Either leave a comment or message me via email on my about page. I really want to reach out to the people that already know what's going on and group us all together in a physical meetup group in which we can talk about these things together, and we can also celebrate our culture together, because there is none of that anymore. And as Joseph Koehne says, our biospirit is what reflects the environment to create our culture, and our cultures are lost if our biospirit is not allowed to shine through. So please do get in touch with me. I can't wait to do more videos on the Tradwife movement and all that, and I will refer to you all as princesses and princesses, because this is the official Princess Academy of Tanya Catherine, and I will be sharing tips how to be more princess-like in your day-to-day lives, and also how to stay traditional, as well as being strong and brave and preparing for what is to come. So thank you very much, everybody, and we will do more restaurant vlogs talking about different places changing and why it's not good. Okay, I hope you all have a wonderful August. Talk to you soon. Bye.